Batman, The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween, issue 4, Jeph Loeb writing with CLIFF CHIANG on the art. So this issue is quite focused, actually, which I really appreciated, which is that Batman, in the altercation that he was having at the end of the last issue, takes a bit of a beating. We don't really get to see a whole bunch of it, right? We see him get away, but the story really starts when the Batmobile comes crashing into the Batcave on autopilot. Dick has to sort of throw Alfred out the way to make sure he's okay. But Batman's basically on his deathbed. He's dying. And they have to pull him out. Alfred has to start doing surgery to make him, better. Take the bullet out, all the stuff. And the entire time Dick's narrating this issue, it's all his narration boxes where he's thinking about when his parents died and this guilt that he has over that, he was always supposed to check the lines before each show. And he genuinely can't remember if he did it the night his parents died, and he's comparing Batman possibly dying to his parents. Like, the idea that this is happening again, that he's going to lose his parental figure. So I really like this, especially where it went, where, Alfred's done everything he can with his medical military training. He's patched him up, he's patched up the wounds, he's got the bullet out, and he's like, now we just have to wait. Now it's up to Bruce. Now he has to have the will to live. And Dick can't accept that there's no simple solution to that it's taking time. So Dick comes up with some sort of solution. He wants Batman to have the will to live. So he goes to Arkham in the Batmobile. He gets the autopilot to take him there. And he goes to speak to Calendar Man. But he's not actually there to see Calendar Man. He's just there to lure out Catwoman. Because the last time he was here, Catwoman came out to stop him from doing this. And he's like, yes, this was perfect. This is what I wanted. And he basically gasses her with something so that he knocks her out, and he carries her out of Arkham. So this is actually quite a sweet story where Dick, as a child, kidnaps Catwoman, brings her back to the Batcave so that she can be by Batman's bedside to maybe give him the will to live. And she kisses Batman on the mouth when he's lying there, and he wakes up.
And I love that Dick asks her, what did you do? She goes, I gave him one of my lives.
Yeah, that was a sweet line. Yeah,
that was such a good one. And the whole running theme underneath that is Dick telling the story about his dad before every performance, especially on Christmas where they would do 2 performances, to check the lines, right, to make sure everything's working, and we do this before and after. But Dick never liked the tone his dad gave to him because it wasn't the happy-go-lucky kind of version of his dad. It was strictly business, and he sees a lot of that in Bruce, right?
Oh no, Alfred here specifically.
And Alfred,
because he talks about how Alfred, he's never had that tone before, but when he starts saying do this, do that, don't ask questions, he's like, this reminds me of my father talking about checking the lines.
Yes, and so there's just that undercurrent to it about working, the whole death-defying aspect, yet the fact that his parents died, and what working without the net means. And that's his entire life now. We have to do things this way, and using the Batman being incapacitated to tell, whatever's going on through Dick's viewpoint. Very smart on Loeb's part.
Yeah, it's a really good perspective to take, and that's specifically about working without a net. He kind of says towards the end that even when you don't have a net, you have to believe there's a net. And I think that's what he's doing. He's finding the safety net. He's finding Catwoman to come and bring Bruce back. It's actually a really sweet story, and it shows that this young version of Dick is observant, that he's realized the connection that Catwoman and Batman have. He's using that, and he's maybe acknowledge it in a way that even Batman and Catwoman are refusing to admit right now by saying, hey, she means something to him. This is important. So it's actually kind of sweet from a Catwoman and Batman relationship perspective, but it's also sweet from Dick noticing this. I don't know, it's all really good. Elsewhere though, Solomon Grundy wakes up out of the water, smashes a boat up, goes to the prison and breaks out Gilda Dent, and basically just jumps off with her like Hulk. Although he smashes the bat signal on his way. They go up to the roof and smash that, and then they jump off. So it doesn't answer too much, but Gilda thinks that Harvey might have sent him. So we're still kind of obscuring, is Harvey still alive? What's going on there? So we're teasing that. But the whole waiting for Batman to wake up was a multi-day thing, because we actually start the story on Christmas Eve and it ends on January 1st. So
on New Year's.
Yeah, so we've actually bridged the two holidays there with this issue. So cool, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Cliff Chiang really knows how to draw Catwoman.
Oh, for sure,
right?
yeah.
So all of that stuff I think is handled really well. I mean, the art throughout is fantastic. Yeah, especially those Catwoman pages really sing.
Yeah, I'm always a fan of Catwoman with the long gloves and the long boots. So I do like this outfit on her. Although I do even like it more when her hair's out. I think that looks really cool. That 90s, early 90s, late 80s kind of Catwoman look. But you know, like the panel or the page, even the full page spread of when he says that you have to find, like he's that's too reckless for him. But tonight I saved Batman's life without a net, and that's the full page is him hugging Batman now standing on his feet. It's like it's really showing. It's really interesting that we've got this and Batman and Robin Year One both at the same time, kind of doing different elements of the early Dick Grayson Batman relationship. Very, very sweet stuff. And Batman, before he leaves to go out looking for whatever, actually goes up to say thank you to Alfred, which is also kind of sweet. It's a very sweet issue in a lot of ways. It's good stuff. So yeah, Batman takes Catwoman back to Arkham, and the cliffhanger is that all the villains have escaped from Arkham, but in Joker standing there wearing Mad Hatter's hat and holding Riddler's staff. And I assume that's meant to be Mr. Freeze's gun. It's quite small for Mr. Freeze's gun, but I think that's what it's meant to be.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah. So, and I assume that wreath is maybe a poison ivy thing as well, actually, that he's got around his neck. So, yeah. Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, not good. But I mean, obviously, like these long Halloween stories have always had like a lot of villains popping in throughout. So, yeah, but we're going to get Joker at some point. Here he is.
Yes.
So yeah.
Yeah, the wreath. I'm going back and looking. I think the wreath is Ivy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
he's got Catwoman's whip too. Yeah. I'll just notice that. Yeah, and also apparently he's into Pokemon because he says he's got to catch them all, and then he laughs.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, sure. Obviously, he's talking about all the different villain stuff, but still.
Yes.
I've never been into Pokemon. I've never played a Pokemon game. I've never watched an episode of Pokemon. And yeah, I hear I got to catch them all, and it's what I think of, because that phrase was just ingrained into the branding, yeah. So,
branding.
No, I really liked this issue. I thought this was a really sweet Batman and Robin issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. We can just read it then. I don't know. I thought you may have something else that you wanted to add. Cliff Chiang's art's very good. Obviously, you mentioned Catwoman specifically, but just in general, obviously having a different artist for each issue is definitely making it a very, back and forward book, depending on how much you like the art. But I do think Cliff Chiang does complement the overall style that these books typically go for. He seems like a fine choice, whereas maybe the last one was... I think the last issue was probably the weakest choice. Not necessarily because it was the worst art, but just because it didn't feel like it fit the overall book that much.
The aesthetic.
Yeah, but no, very, very delightful, heartfelt issue, I thought. So what were you giving Last Halloween issue 4?
I'm going to give this a straight 8.
Yeah, I gotta go 9 on this. I don't know. I thought it was quite touching. I think it's up there for me this week.